It's a beautiful day to be alive. Here at the peak of recorded human civilization. You can do this. You can do this. You can do it. You can be it. You can be the hero of your own movie, baby, your own story. You can be the hero of the MAZ. You're here in the MAZ now. You just got here. You can be that hero of the MAZ. Woo! All you gotta do is smash that like. All you gotta do is share that link. And you are the hero of the MAZ. Just from that. Get after it! Yeah. 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 Hey. Of your own story. Yeah, you do. What up, MAZ? How you doing, you beautiful thing, you? You know, I got a bunch of questions. One of them is this: the instrumentals of this album. This is the opening track from the Joe Rogan album without vocals. Obviously, you knew that. The instrumentals are coming out on Friday. I've got to pick a track for Spotify to send to Release Radar. You get to tell Spotify what track is the track you want them to send to people who are subscribed to you, you know? What instrumental is the instrumental I should send to everybody on Spotify this Friday? Maybe it's this one. This one's really great. This one's lovely. I'm enjoying listening to this. Oh! You have to be the hero. Very heroic, you know? You could play it as someone walked into a room. I mean, as you walked into a room, that'd be pretty good, right? You walk in a room, this starts playing. Oh, hi guys, it's me. What's cracking, baby? How you feeling? Yeah, pretty good. I know, me too, right? Yeah, right? Anyway, you just step into an office. You step into the library, this starts playing. You step into the function. You know? Step out onto the street, this starts playing. Hey! Oh! You have to be. Woo! Happy wedding anniversary, Cindy Bailey. And happy birthday to your spawn. Congratulations to you all. Let's cracking. David Howard says, I think Akira should do some movie soundtracks. I'd love to do a movie soundtrack. But the movie industry's dead. Do they even do good soundtracks anymore? When I was a kid, you had Tarantino movies and, you know, superhero movies had epic scores. Tim Burton was doing it. You heard a superhero movie score lately? I mean, what even is? Like, what's Thor's score? Does anyone even know? They all just sound the same. I swear these guys are just, like, generating them with a bot or something. Is Hollywood, I mean, is Hollywood is anyone making movies? You find me someone who's making movies, baby, I'll make them an epic soundtrack. I will. Shouts out to Bristol. Let's crack in Bristol, UK. I've been to Bristol for ages. Bristol's powerful. One time I was in Bristol with Big Nasty. We were sleeping, whose house was it? Someone let us stay at their house, and then like there was a mouse or something, and Nasty like, fuck, he shrieked like a lady and went and slept in the car. Shouts out to Bristol. Yo, what's cracking, everybody? How you doing? We got an international high five to do. Today. Then the question for the international high five is this. Where did you come from to get to the MAZ? And what was once patently obvious to everyone as an indisputable truth, but is no longer? I mean, one is like, you know, Pluto is a planet. No, not anymore. When I was a kid, it was obvious you had a bunch of planets. One of them was Pluto. That was the little one. That was the pipsqueak planet. It's not a planet anymore, apparently. Sucks to be Pluto. But once it was patently obvious to everybody that there was, 12 planets? One of them was Pluto. Now there's like 1 billion planets, but not one of Pluto isn't one of them. What the heck? What the blessed bless? Yeah. You have to be the hero of your own Meaningwave autonomous zone. That much is true. What are we saying here? Lots of people have been answering this question already. Lots of people saying something that was once patently obvious to everyone and is now no longer the case. Someone said the Earth is flat. However, about 3 people said that the Earth is round. So the flat Earth people and the squiggly Earth people are fighting in my mentions. Here's something that was once patently obvious to everyone, and now that's really not the case. Star Wars is a good movie franchise. Oh boy, burn. I mean, that's true. Once it was like Star Wars was synonymous with adventure and joy. Now it's synonymous with misery. And like some bum sucking a space cow titty on a craggy island. Now Star Wars is synonymous with like miserable craggy islands. Like you keep expecting Father Ted to pop out. My goodness. It was once patently obvious, now not the case, that 5 out of 6 doctors smoke Camel cigarettes. That's where they're messing up. Someone said 2 + 2 = 4. Apparently once it was patently obvious that 2 + 2 = 4, but now not the case. Really? I cannot begin to tell you the number of people I've run into on this app trying to reject that claim specifically. You should spend less time on the app. That's someone on Twitter. I just duck into Twitter to like drop some positivity, you know, and respond to my mentions. Then I run away. I flee. It's too hot in there right now. Too much. You need a nuke-proof suit. You need a hazmat suit. If you dipping your ass into social media these days, you need to have that last ass coated in lead. I have the most refined timeline on Earth, and it's still difficult. Eric Goes to Hell says, I went to college. I was told there would be prosperity. Would feel bad for people who went to college. I didn't go to college. That was one of my smarter moves. I avoided the college thing. I left home at 16 and went out into the world and had adventures. Got into trouble. Learned lessons. Did not get indoctrinated by weirdos. Woof, missed a bullet. Missed me a big-ass bullet. Shout out to everyone who went to college and managed to get out of there with their brain intact. Proud of you. Not a lot of people did, but you did. Proud of you. Someone said it was once patently obvious that watching TV news will keep you informed. So many things, says Matthew Lally. What up, Matthew Lally? Says, get a good job is the best path. Save your money, put it in the bank. Money is a function of government. It makes sense to move to the city. Akira the Don will not be on Joe Rogan's show in 2020. All false, says Matthew Lally. Matthew Lally is that big brain. Guys, that's a big brain, Matthew Lally. Yeah. Joe Rhino says no such thing as a sunrise because we're orbiting the sun and it's no longer a deity. Speak for yourself, baby. I'll be worshipping the blessed glory out of that sun. That sun is my deity. That's why I don't wear sunscreen. I don't want to get between myself and God. I want nothing getting in the way of me and God. Flame Broad Squirrel PNW. Freedom isn't free and rights require responsibilities. That's right. Team America World Police had a lot of truth in it. Also the most realistic sex scene of all time. Shouts out to Matt and Trey. And all the Canadians. Robert Easley. What's cracking, everyone? I'm finding it difficult to read the chat right now because my eyes are going blurry. I don't know why. My eyes aren't functioning as well as they should be. Does that ever happen to you? Do your eyes suddenly stop doing what they should do? Oh, man. Yo. Oh, well. Let's do the international high five, and I'll read some more of these as we go through the show. That's the way we'll do it. Feels like it works. Feels like it works. Feels like I'm going blind. Imagine that if you were just like doing a stream and then you suddenly went blind just in the middle of the stream. I shouldn't imagine that. It might happen. You shouldn't be wishing for things like that. I'm not wishing for that. I'm not. I was just imagining it. Don't imagine it. Oh, no. Oh, no. I'm stuck in a conundrum. Quick, let's do the international high five and save me from myself. I'm very powerful manifester, you see. You got to be careful. 3, 2, 1. Did you feel that? Did you feel that reverberating through your very soul and your very ass? Because I did. Let's have the actual song. Oof. You have to be the hero, baby. You have to.
Akira.
Who else is going to do it?
It's for the heroes.
Only you can save mankind.
You have to be the hero of your own story. And you can do that.
You can do that, LH.
You have to be the hero of your own story. And you can do that. 90% of it is just showing up. Get there and start working. Like, you're not going to feel perfect every day. Gotta be those days you push through. This is what I want you to do. Write down what you would like to fix about your life. If you're 30 pounds overweight, you want to lose 30 pounds? Do it the right way. Write down what you eat. Exercise every day. Force yourself to do it. The brain is the general, the troops are the body, and you get up and you do it. And then you get to write it down. You know, you're doing what you got to do to get by, but ultimately you're not respecting yourself. I think we all have a certain amount of appreciation and respect for hero figures. We all look at the guy who never lies, always does the right thing, and fucking helps everybody out, and that's the John Wayne character. You know, that's the ultimate hero. The ultimate hero. You have to be the hero of your own story. And you can do that. You have to be the hero of your own story. And you can do that. And when you look at your own life and you don't stack up, you're a thief, you stole money from your wife's purse, and you don't want to smoke cigarettes, but you fucking have to, you can't deal with the stress and smoke. You devalue yourself. You slowly start devaluing yourself. You look at yourself and you realize that if you were judging yourself, you would judge yourself unfaithful. You can't pretend you're the hero of your story. Hero of your story. Most people get stuck in these patterns, find themselves as the person who doesn't follow through on their ideas. When I start things and I quit. No, you don't. No, you have started things and you quit. And it gives you a horrible sense of regret that's made you define yourself by that. You're not who you were a year ago. You're not who you were 5 years ago. You're not who you were last week. So you gotta regulate how much you dwell on regrets of the past. You really gotta be careful.
Yeah.
You have to be the hero of your own story. And you can do that. You have to be the hero of your own story. You can be the hero of your own story that woke up today. You can be the hero of your own story that at 40 years of age stopped, got out of bed and said, I'm not doing this anymore. I'm not doing this anymore. And I'm gonna get myself in shape and I'm gonna eat healthy. And I'm gonna do this. Because this is me now. This is me now. I decided this is me. And people have to realize that you are not your past. You are not all the times you fucked up. You're not all the times you were drunk. That's not you. That's not you. You are the person who's learned from a great deal of experience. This is a battle that you will fight for the rest of your life. But the key is to fight it, not to give in. Don't give in to that resistance. Fight that resistance. And in doing so, every day you do so, you have won the battle for that day. And you will continue to fight that battle. You have to be the hero of your own story. And you can do that. You have to be the hero of your own story. And you can do that. You have to be the hero of your own story. And you can do that. You have to be the hero of your own story. And you can do that.
Woo! That's right, baby. That's right, Kevin Riva. That's right, Austin Cameron. That's right, Cindy Bailey. That's right, Sheila D613. That's right, Pixie. That's right, Glenn Bonnet. That's right, Milton Dan. That's right. That's right, Joe Reiner. That's right, D. Humphrey. That's right, Macdonald. That's right, that's right, that's right.
Will set out honeypots for people to get trapped in. The ideas of retirement, the ideas of the golden years, providing you benefits, providing you a healthy work environment. Why? Well, because they want people to work for them. They don't want people to realize their own dreams and escape. They want to set it up so that you stick around. Stick around in some sort of an unsatisfying world. It's up to you to see that video game problem, to see that issue as it comes up on the map, and calculate your future.
Yeah, baby. Good news.
So,
Good news. Meaningwave exists. And LH is getting LH's request.
so this is a view of the world as a system of mutual exploitation and of maximal selfishness. Now, it's a very profitable view to explore. Everybody should do in their lifetime sometimes two things. One is to consider death, to observe skulls and skeletons. Consider death, and to wonder what it will be like to go to sleep and never wake up. Never. That is a very gloomy thing for contemplation, but it's like manure. Just as manure fertilizes the plants and so on. So the contemplation of death and the acceptance of death is very highly generative of creative life. You'll get wonderful things out of that. And the other thing to contemplate is to follow the possibility of the idea that you are totally selfish. That you don't have a good thing to be said for you at all. You are a complete, utter rascal. You are a complete, utter rascal. Now, the Christians have avoided this. Because although they say in their Episcopalian form of confession that we have erred and strayed from thy ways like lost sheep, and we have followed too much the devices and desires of our own hearts, too much, we have offended against thy holy laws. We have left undone those things we ought to have done, and done those things which we ought not to have done, and there is no help in us. But it ought to be different. And we're going to do our best to amend with the help of God's grace. That is a real con act. If you equate health with genuine love and perfect unselfishness, then in that sense there is no health in us when we look at ourselves from this point of view. Consider death. To observe skulls and skeletons. Consider death. And to wonder what it will be like to go to sleep and never wake up. Never. Consider death. To observe skulls and skeletons. Consider death. And to wonder what it will be like to go to sleep and never wake up. Never, ever, 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 ever.
That's right, baby. Meaningwave exists. That's right, David Howe. That's right, Flamboyant Scroll. Yeah, you can do this. We're taking Meaningwave requests via Superchat tonight. It's that Meaningwave request show. Shouts out to everyone who was here last night. Who here last night, was here last night, and enjoyed last night. One of them legendary ones. Get after it. Legendary activities only in the MAZ. You know how we do. Do 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 do.
Equals freedom. with waking up early. It really does. But that is just the beginning. It is working out every day. It is eating the right foods to fuel your system correctly. It is disciplining your emotions so you can make good decisions. It is about having the discipline to control your ego so it doesn't get out of hand and control you. It is about treating people the way you would want to be treated. It is about doing the tasks you don't want to do, but you know will help you. Discipline is about facing your fears so you can conquer them. Discipline means taking the hard road, the uphill road, to do what is right for you and for others. Discipline equals freedom, 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 equals discipline equals freedom, 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 equals discipline equals freedom, 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 equals discipline equals freedom, equals freedom, equals freedom, equals freedom, equals freedom, equals freedom, equals freedom. So often, the easy path calls us to be weak for that moment, to break down another time, to give in to desire and short-term gratification. Discipline will not allow that. Discipline calls for strength and fortitude and will. It won't accept weakness. It won't tolerate a breakdown in will. Discipline can seem like your worst enemy, but in reality, it is your best friend. It will take care of you like nothing else can, and it will put you on the path to strength and health and intelligence and happiness. And most important, discipline will put you on the path to freedom. Discipline equals freedom, equals freedom, equals freedom, equals freedom, equals freedom, equals freedom, equals discipline equals freedom, equals freedom, equals freedom, equals freedom, equals freedom, equals freedom, equals freedom. Hey, discipline equals freedom, 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 equals discipline equals freedom, 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 discipline.
Why are you keeping me waiting? Someone wrote to me this week asking, what song did I sample of that lady singing, why are you keeping me waiting? That was not sampled from a song, I'm afraid. It was not. That's the session singing lady singing that line. Yeah, shouts out to her. Yeah. Someone had a question I need to answer. Kevin Gruber wants to know, who's the artist for the Joe Rogan album artwork? You can see that right now, I believe. You can see it there. It's very good, right? It's very great. The artist for that is Tommy F. Peterson. Tommy F. Peterson actually did the artwork for like the last 3 albums or something like that. He did Father. He did the Scott Adams album. He did the most recent Alan Watts one. And he did this one. MVP. Tommy F. Peterson. Ooh. He is a professional comic book artist. You may know him from his work on the Game of Thrones comic book adaptation and various other things. You should go check him out. He's a geezer. Yeah. Don't want to be there. Yo, what up, Frankie Blades? Thank you for the support. Says, love you, brother. Thanks for the times and the tunes. Yo, thank you, baby. Don't wanna be there. You know, you could be anywhere. You could be watching the Democratic National Convention. Is that on right now? I heard some rumblings that was on, and they were having a guy on who was seen on an island with some kids or something. Is this true? They're getting people who've been caught on islands with kids to talk at these conventions now? Is it a thing? I'm a bit confused. Is it a Zoom conference? Are they having a Zoom conference with some geezer who used to play the saxophone and got photoed on an island with some kids or something? I don't know. I'm just a humble beat gunner. I don't know nothing. Don't look at me for answers to these questions. Yeah, I just dip into Twitter for a few minutes and there's all this confusion. What's his face? Adam from No Jumper was talking to some, what would you call them? Ladies of loose morality, who was saying shocking things about the rap industry, but not even slightly shocking. It's weird how all these things have just collapsed. All it took was one squeaky clean boy. One squeaky boy. You know, he was an actor. I mean, I suppose he's still an actor, isn't he? Just playing a different role. All it took was one guy with a big old head and some curly hair. He once played Forrest Gump, and he once played a guy on an island with a beard. One time he was in a movie where he made love to a donkey or something weird. All it took was him, communist Chinese, and some filthy disease to bring Hollywood to its knees. And the music industry. And nobody got the time for that neither. No wonder Meaningwave's doing so well. Stunks! Yeah. But you know, I mean, we're not here to kick dirt in the faces of these poor people as they're in trouble. That's not our thing at all. You know, some people, you know, they want to tear down everyone else. We don't want to do that. We're not interested in tearing down anybody. We're just interested in building the biggest building in town.
He's got clout.
Yeah, that's us.
How do you, as an international speaker, with all of your
Build the biggest building in town.
with all of the pressure, in terms of hate and everything that goes on?
Quite easily. From a very basic thing. I know what my intent is, and I'm very grounded in it. And I deploy enormous amounts of empathy to my haters. When somebody leaves a comment that I'm a charlatan or a snake oil salesman, or my daddy gave me the money to build the liquor store and I shouldn't be listened to, I understand why they say that. I know it's not true. It feeds me in a very good way. And so for me, to be very honest with you, it's been very easy because when your intent is pure, I think about succeeding in one very simple story. There are two ways, my friends, to build the biggest building in town. Step number one, just
Build the biggest building in town.
build the biggest building in town. Step number one, just build the biggest building in town. Build the biggest building in town.
Yeah.
Step number two, build a decent-sized building and then spend all your time trying to tear everybody else's building around you down so you end up being the biggest building in town. My friend, 95% of people try to do number two. But when you know you can build the fucking biggest building in town, you do that. You do that. And so because I know what my intent is, I just don't value anybody's opinion about me, including my parents and wife and children, more than I value my opinion about myself. just build the biggest building in town. Build the biggest building in town. Step number one, just build the biggest building in town. Build the biggest building in town. Just build the biggest building in town. Build the biggest building in town. Step number one, just build the biggest building in town. Build the biggest building in town.
Akira.
He's got clout.
The sense that you just have to go on living. That life is a must. When you say to anything spontaneous, see, life is spontaneous. It happens, in the words of the Taoists, Ziran, which means of itself so. That's their Chinese expression for nature. What happens by itself, what isn't pushed, but it just pops up, you see? You came into being, you know? It happens in a kind of a plop way like that. Now, you can't tell that process. You ought to happen. You must happen. Because that puts a bind on it. In the same way as when you have a child and all the relatives that come to a party on Thanksgiving, the child into the middle of all the relatives and say, now dear, play. Now dear, play. Now dear, play. Play on demand, play on demand, play on demand, play. Say now dear, play. Now dear, play. Play on demand, play on demand, play on demand, play.
Here we are. It's the beginning of another great day. A sunny, summer day. It's the best day. For, you know what?
You know what?
I'm going to read you a quote from Macdonald. And he says this: the idiot sees the world as good versus evil. The cynic sees the world as evil versus evil. The truth that no one seems to be able to see is that the world is, and always has been, a battle of good versus good.
Good
versus good. Good versus good. Good versus good. Wow. This is actually really profound. This is the situation we find ourselves in. There are not two sides in which one is good and one is evil. There are two sides in which one feels that it is good and it believes, incorrectly, that the other one is evil. But both sides are pretty sure that their version of the world is the good one. Wow. The world is, and always has been, a battle of good versus good. Versus good.
Good
Versus good. Good. Versus good. Good.
That's Nietzsche. That's the prologue to Thus Spake Zarathustra. When you are a child, when you are young, you are a camel. The camel gets down on its knees and says, put a load on me. This is obedience. This is receiving the instruction and information that your society knows you must have in order to live a competent life. When the camel is well loaded, he gets up on his feet, runs out into the where he becomes transformed into a lion. The heavier the load, the more powerful the lion. The heavier the load, the more powerful the lion. The heavier the load, the more powerful the lion. The function of the lion is to kill a dragon. Hey! And the name of the dragon is Thou Shalt. And on every scale of the dragon there is a Thou Shalt imprinted. Some of it comes from 2,000 years forth.
Thou shalt smash that leg.
Some of it comes from
If thou hast not smashed that leg,
newspaper.
thou shouldst.
When the dragon is killed, the lion is transformed into a child. An innocent child living out of its own dynamic. Nietzsche uses the term ein aus sich rollendes Rad, a wheel rolling out of its own center. That's what you become. That is the mature individual. The heavier the load, the more powerful the lion. The heavier the load, the more powerful the lion. The heavier the load, the more powerful the lion. The function of the lion is to kill the dragon. The Thou Shalt is a civilizing force. It turns a human animal into a civilized human being. But then the one who is thrown off the Thou Shalts is still a civilized human being. You see, he has been humanized, you might say, by the Thou Shalt system. So his performance now as a child is not simply childlike at all. He has assimilated the culture and thrown it off as a Thou Shalt. But this is the way in any artwork. You go to work and study an art. You study the techniques. You study all the rules. And the rules are put upon you by a teacher. Then there comes a time of using the rules, not being used by them. Do you understand what I'm saying? The heavier the load, the more powerful the lion. The heavier the load, the more powerful the lion. The heavier the load, the more powerful the lion. The function of the lion is to kill the dragon. The heavier the load, the more powerful the lion. The heavier the load, the more powerful the lion. The heavier the load, the more powerful the lion. The function of the lion is to kill the dragon.
To remind myself of that every morning when I woke up. And the reason why I think it's optimistic is that you see all these different problems, right? And all these things in the world. And you're like, well, I don't understand that thing. Like, I don't understand, in my case, longevity research and science and hard work. I don't understand any of these things in a deeply technical way. I want to affect them. reasons why people don't go into different like fields is they think, well, there's this kind of like expert status around this field, which means I can't ever infiltrate it. And the thing that I want to remember every day is that like expertise is a scam. Expertise is a scam. It's like a power hierarchy that's been created within an industry to prevent other people from being able to go and get into it. Everything's a scam. Everything's a scam. Everything's a scam. Everything's a scam. Academia is a scam. Venture capital is a scam. Everything's a fucking scam. Right? But if you realize that, then you can do anything. Why I think remembering everything as a scam is important is that it boosts your self-efficacy to remind yourself that if everything's a scam, then if you have high integrity and you want to go solve a problem, it's probably the case that it'll take you pretty far. Take you pretty far.
Take you pretty far.
Like more far than trying to play the traditional game.
Which is a scam. Woo!
So, to me, everything is a scam is not a negative thing. It's a reminder to just play the game. Any game you want to play, just go play it. It's just a fucking game. Any game you want to play, just go play it. It's just a fucking game. Everything's a scam. Everything's a scam. Everything's a scam. Everything's a scam. Academia is a scam. Venture capital is a scam. Everything's a fucking scam. Right?
But if you realize that, you can do anything, Dylan Mays.
Any game you want to play, just go play it.
Dylan Mays.
Any game you want to play, just go play it.
CO9 Productions.
Any game you want to play, just go play it.
Draft 42.
Fucking game.
You dig?
Any game you want to play, just go play it.
Nightbot.
Any game you want to play, just go play it.
Strunkle
Any
28.
game you want to play, just go play it.
Joe's Bakery.
Fucking game.
Woo!
Everything's a scam.
Yeah, that's right.
Everything's a scam.
Playing that one for Dylan Mays. What's that Meaningwave request show? We taking that Meaningwave request.
Here's a scam. Venture capital is a scam.
Everything's a flipping scam.
Right?
But if you realize that,
then you can do anything.
That's right.
Anything. You can do anything. You can do it, 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 can do it,
let's get it, baby. This one's for Austin Cameron.
This is from Friedrich Nietzsche.
Yeah.
Now, of course, you probably know that he was the philosopher who announced the death of God. What he meant by that was that the fundamental metaphysics that underlie Western culture had lost their foundation. And that the consequence of that would be the disintegration of the idea of value itself. Especially of value hierarchies. He thought of the inevitable consequence of that, or one of the inevitable consequences of that, a dramatic move towards a doctrine of radical equality. See, because if value itself is destroyed, the value distinction between things, so that one thing is not any better than another, then there's no reason for hierarchies of virtue or of value. And so the equality doctrine is a logical outcome. So here's what he wrote about that. Behold, this is the hole of the tarantula. Do you want to see the tarantula itself? Here hangs its web. Touch it so that it trembles. There it comes willingly. Welcome, tarantula. Your triangle and symbol sits black on your back. And I also know what sits in your soul. Revenge sits in your soul. Wherever you bite, black scabs grow. Your poison makes the soul whirl with revenge. Thus I speak to you in a parable. You who make souls whirl. You preachers of equality. To me you are tarantulas and secretly vengeful. But I shall bring your secrets to light. Therefore I laugh in your faces. My laughter of the heights. Therefore I tear at your webs, that your rage may lure you. out of your lie holes, and your revenge may leap out from behind your word. Justice. For that man be delivered from revenge. That is for me the bridge to the highest hope, and a rainbow after long storms. The tarantulas, of course, would have it otherwise. What justice means to us is precisely that the world be filled with the storms of our revenge. Thus they speak to each other. We shall wreak vengeance and abuse on all whose equals we are not. Thus do the tarantula hearts vow. And will to equality shall henceforth be the name for virtue. And against all that has power, we want to raise our clamor. You preachers of equality, the tyrannomania of impotence clamors thus out of you for equality. Your most secret ambitions to be tyrants thus shroud themselves in words of virtue, aggrieved conceit, repressed envy, perhaps the conceit and envy of your fathers, erupt from you as a flame and as the frenzy of revenge. What was silent in the Father speaks in the Son. And I often found the Son, the unveiled secret of the Father. They are like enthusiasts, but it is not the heart that fires them, but the home. And when they become elegant and cold, it is not the spirit, but envy that makes them elegant and cold. Their jealousy leads them even on the paths of thinkers, and this is a sign of their jealousy. They always go too far, till their weariness must in the end lie down to sleep in the snow. Tarantulas.
Yeah!
Tarantulas.
Right.
Tarantulas. Tarantulas. Out of every one of their complaints sounds revenge. In their praise there is always a sting, and to be a judge seems bliss to them. But thus I counsel you, my friends, mistrust all in whom the impulse to punish is powerful. They are people of a low sort and stock, the hangman and the bloodhound. 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 Look out of their faces. Mistrust all who talk much of their justice. Verily, their souls lack more than honey, and when they call themselves the good and the just, do not forget that they would be Pharisees, if only they had power. My friends, I do not want to be mixed up and confused with others. Some preach my doctrine of life and are at the same time preachers of equality. And tarantulas, although they are sitting in their holes, these poisonous spiders, with their backs turned on life, they speak in favor of life, but only because they wish to hurt. They wish to hurt those who now have power, for among those, the preaching of death is still most at home. If it were otherwise, the tarantulas would teach otherwise. They themselves were once the foremost slanderers of the world, and birds, the heretics.
Not you. I do not wish to be mixed up and confused with these fuckheads.
I do not wish to be mixed up and confused with these preachers of equality.
I didn't want to work with actors anymore. So I was happy that Fear Factor was no actors. Since I had a background in coaching, I was used to teaching people and I was used to encouraging people and getting people motivated. When someone was nervous and they're about to do something, I could grab them and go, look at me. You could do this. Look at me. You can do this. Look at me. You can do this. This is going to define you. If you back up, get scared, you give in to your fears, this is going to define you. Look at me. You can do this. Look at me. You can do this. If you just press and realize you can do this and succeed, it will define you in a positive way. You can do this. It was completely unexpected. Because I thought the gig was just going to be these people do these crazy things. I make fun of it, you know, we all cheer and it would all play itself out because it was a reality show. But somewhere along the line, especially when they became really nervous, it was very intense. There was moments where I wanted these people to win. And I wanted these people to do their best. I wanted these people to succeed. There was one time, there was this father and the son, and the father and the son were kind of jerks. And they thought that they were going to win. The parent and child teams had gotten down to 2. And it was the man and his son versus a woman and her daughter. And everybody thought these jerks were going to win. We were kind of bummed out about it. But the woman and her child, they just rose to the occasion. I mean, I remember talking to them and firing them up. I didn't know if they could do it. Look at me. You can do this. Look at me. You can do this. This is going to define you. If you back off, get scared, and give in to your fears, this is going to define you. Look at me. You can do this. Look at me. You can do this. If you just press and realize you can do this and succeed, it will define you in a positive way. You can do this. It was some crazy thing that they had to climb and do this thing, had to gather flags. It was all the time. The kind of jerky son, the jerky dad, they kept screwing up. They fucked up because they'd kind of taken it for granted that they were going to win. A lot of times jerks are just insecure. And when they're under pressure, when they're really faced with real pressure, like this is the real moment. Who are you really? Who are you really? Fuck all that talk. Who are you really? They fall apart. The mother and the daughter won. You're talking about a hardened crew of people that have watched people eat animal dicks, jump out of helicopters, season after season, episode after episode. Everybody cried. The camera people, like I'll cry now if I'm thinking about it. Just seeing their spirit when they were figuring out a way to win, watching them win. Like to this day. Look at me. You can do this. Look at me. You can do this. This is going to define you. If you back off, get scared, and give in to your fears, this is going to define you. Look at me. You can do this. Look at me. You can do this. If you just press and realize you can do this and succeed, it will define you in a positive way. You can do this. I tear up for sad things. I tear up for happy things. It's never been sad things. It's very hard to get me to cry with sad things. Triumph, success, people pulling through. When someone has a particularly incredible performance, I have the fight off tearing up. I feel so happy for them. With sad things, I can objectively analyze them, and I cannot get sad. I can understand that this is just life, and it is what it is. I mean, I won't feel good, but but I won't start weeping. I don't weep for sad things the way I weep for happy. I can rationalize and understand sorrow. I can internalize it. I get it. I just get so happy for people sometimes when things go well. As a human being, you realize how hard it is to overcome competition or these difficult moments or these moments when you're tested. And you know there's fears and insecurities that these people have to battle, as well as the actual physical task in front of them. There's so much going on. Look at me. You can do this. Look at me. You can do this. This is going to define you. If you back up, get scared, and give in your fears, this is going to define you. Look at me. You can do this. Look at me. You can do this. If you just press and realize you can do this and succeed, it will define you in a positive way. You can do this. 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 I am a student of human will. I love stories of discipline and success. I don't even like going to movies where they're sad. I'm not interested. I know it's sadness. I've been sad. I get it. I'm not interested in getting that in the form of entertainment. I like success. I like seeing people triumph. I like seeing the human spirit manifest itself in spectacular ways.
Yeah, baby. Fear Factor from the new album Akira the Don and Joe Rogan.
Akira.
Joe Rogan album exists. Yeah, dude. Hey. When you that one was for Sheila D613, says I had some self-doubt and anxiety this week. This song helped me remember I could do it and not to give up.
Akira.
That's right. That's facts.
He's got clout.
You always gotta remember that. Also this.
When you wake up in the morning, tell yourself the people I deal with today will be meddling, ungrateful, arrogant, dishonest, jealous,
and surly.
They are like this because they can't tell good from evil. But I have seen the beauty of good and the ugliness of evil. I recognize that the wrongdoer has a nature related to my own. Not of the same blood or birth, but the same mind, and possessing a share of the divine. Not of the same blood or birth, but the same mind, and possessing a share in the divine. So none of them can hurt me. No one can implicate me in ugliness, nor can I feel angry at my relative or hate it. We were born to work together like feet, hands, and eyes, like the two rows of teeth, upper and lower. To obstruct each other is unnatural. To feel anger at someone, to turn your back on him. These are obstructions. Yo, disguise your thirst for books so you won't die in bitterness, but in cheerfulness and truth. Grateful to the gods from the bottom of your heart. Grateful to the gods from the bottom of your heart. Disguise your thirst for books so you won't die in bitterness, but in cheerfulness and truth. Grateful to the gods from the bottom of your heart. Grateful to the gods from the bottom of your heart. Disguise your thirst for books so you won't die in bitterness, but in cheerfulness and truth. Grateful to the gods from the bottom of your heart. Grateful to the gods from the bottom of your heart. Whatever this is that I am, it is flesh, a little spirit and intelligence. Throw away your books, stop letting yourself be distracted. That is not allowed. Instead, as if you were dying right now, despise your flesh, a mess of blood, pieces of bone, a woven tangle of nerves, veins,
and arteries. Consider what the spirit is, air, and never the same air. It's vomited out and sucked in again every instant. Finally, the intelligence.
Think of it this way, you are old man. Stop allowing your mind to be a slave, to be jerked about by selfish impulses,
to kick against fate and the present, to mistrust the future.
What is divine is full of providence. Even chance is not divorced from nature, from the inweaving and enfolding of things
governed by providence.
Everything proceeds from it.
And then there is necessity and the needs of the whole world, of which you were a part. Whatever the nature of the whole does and whatever serves to maintain it is good for every part of nature. The world is maintained by change in the elements and in the things they compose. Hey, that should be enough for you. Treat it as an axiom, treat it as an axiom. Yeah, yo, discard your thirst for books so you won't die in bitterness, but in cheerfulness and truth. Grateful to the gods in the bottom of your heart. Grateful to the gods in the bottom of your heart. Discard your thirst for books so you won't die in bitterness, but in cheerfulness and truth. Grateful to the gods from the bottom of your heart. Grateful to the gods from the bottom of your eye. Discard your thirst for books so you won't die in bitterness, but in cheerfulness and truth. Grateful to the gods from the bottom of your heart. Grateful to the gods from the bottom of your heart. Oh, waking up in the morning, baby. Oh, what a glorious thing. You get to have a whole day. Oh, what a glorious thing. Waking up in the morning, baby. Oh, what a glorious thing. You get to have a whole. Just got your first effects, so you won't die in bitterness, but in cheerfulness and truth. Grateful to the gods from the bottom of your heart. Grateful to the gods from the bottom of your heart. Discard your first effects, so you won't die in bitterness, but in cheerfulness and truth. Grateful to the gods from the bottom of your heart. Grateful to the gods from the bottom of your heart. How long you been putting this off? How many extensions the gods gave you and you didn't use them? At some point you have to recognize what world it is that you belong to, what power rules you and from what source you spring. That there's a limit to the time assigned to you, and if you don't use it to free yourself, it will be gone and will never return. Yeah, it will never return. Yeah, say it will never return. Never return. And it will never return. Woo! Woo! Who asked for that? Make some noise. Draft 42, that one was for you. It's the Meaningwave Request Show.
I've really been trying to make sense of it, okay? Because, well, what the hell's going on? Why am I selling out 3,000-person auditoriums? I use the stage, let's say, as a opportunity in real time to think. I've been thinking, well, if you're surfing, you don't confuse yourself with the wave. The wave. The wave. That's a real mistake. You might be on top of the wave. The wave. The wave. The wave. That's a real mistake. You might be on top of the wave. The wave. I think this long-form discussion and the public hunger for that is best conceptualized like that. There's a technological revolution. It's a deep one. Online video and audio. Immediately accessible to everyone, all over the world. It's turned the spoken word into a tool that has the same reach as the printed word. So it's a Gutenberg revolution in the domain of video and audio. And it might be even deeper than the original Gutenberg revolution because it isn't obvious how many people can read, but lots of people can listen. The wave. The wave. The wave. You might be on top of the wave. The wave. The wave. The wave. You might be on top of the wave. The wave. I mean, you got a little bit of that with TV, right? And you got a little bit of it with radio. But there was bandwidth limitations that were really stringent, especially in TV, where you could get 30 seconds if you were lucky, and 6 minutes if you were stellar, to elucidate a complicated argument. So you can't do that. Everything gets compressed to a kind of oversimplified entertainment. But now, all of a sudden, we have this forum for long-form discussion, real long-form discussion. Turns out that everyone is way smarter than we thought. The wave.
wave. The wave. The wave. You may be on top of the wave, but you're not the wave. Yeah, yeah, that's real, baby, that's real. That's real, baby, that's real. Yeah.
Is that we seem to have concluded that strong men are dangerous.
Strong men are dangerous?
And that's partly because we think Western culture is a tyrannical patriarchy.
Really?
The only reason you get to the top is because you misuse power.
Is that the case?
So all the men who are at the top of the hierarchy are all misusing their power.
What?
All tyrannical.
That sounds mental.
And all the guys who have the aim and ambition to achieve that are just tyrants in training.
You're kidding.
The basic attitude that we have towards our own culture and towards young men now.
That's baby.
Everything about that is pathological and inexcusable and shameful.
I used to watch kids.
Skateboard!
I liked watching those kids. I liked watching skateboarders do those crazy things. Because they're trying to become competent. They're facing danger.
They don't want the damn protective gear!
It's like, no. I don't want to wear a helmet. I want to expose myself to this danger. It's not that I'm stupid, and the kids are often shooed away. It's like, wait a sec. They're practicing being courageous. They're practicing mastering something in the face of danger. Don't bother children when they're skateboarding. Don't bother children when they're skateboarding. Don't bother children. Don't bother children. Don't bother children when they're skateboarding. Don't bother children when they're skateboarding. Don't bother children when they're skateboarding. Don't bother children. Don't bother children. Don't bother children when they're skateboarding.
Dark sarcasm in the classroom. Teacher, leave them kids alone. Hey! Leave them kids alone!
gymnast, and like the gymnast does a flawless routine. Everybody claps like mad. The judges say 9.9, and then the next person comes up and they're screwed. It's like 9.9. It was basically perfect. How can you do better than perfect? And then they do it. You can do better than perfect. They're on the edge. And they go out there and you watch them. You feel it in your body. Everything they do is that much farther out into chaos than anything they've ever done. Pushing themselves to the absolute limit of their ability. You can tell with every gesture, they're that close to making a mistake. They've taken this courageous step beyond their confidence and put everything on the line. When they land in a way that's unlike perfect. It's perfect plus. And everybody immediately leaps to their feet. And like they get a chill. And so what you've just seen is awe-inspiring. You've seen someone courageously move past perfection into the unknown. And not only ennoble themselves more, but to ennoble humanity itself. Up on your feet. It's like, yes! And then it's tens. They win the goal. Well, everyone knows what that's like. It's like a great music performance. That's being in that place where everything lines up. It's better than perfect. Better than perfect. Better than perfect. Don't bother children when you're skateboarding. Don't bother children when you're skateboarding. Don't bother children. Don't bother children. Don't bother children when you're skateboarding. Don't bother children when you're skateboarding. Don't bother children when you're skateboarding. Don't bother children. Don't bother children. Don't bother children when you're skateboarding. Don't bother children when you're skateboarding. Don't bother children when you're skateboarding. Don't bother children. Don't bother children when you're skateboarding. Don't bother children when you're skateboarding. Don't bother children when you're skateboarding. Don't bother children. Don't bother children. Don't bother children when you're skateboarding.
Akira.
Let's go. He's got clout.
The big one is the stoned ape theory. transfer mechanics theory was the reason why the human brain size doubled over a period of 2 million years. And he equates it to the time where the climate changed and rainforests receded into grasslands, and these monkeys climbed down from trees, started experimenting with new food sources. They would flip over cow patties to find like bugs and beetles and shit. When they saw mushrooms growing on the cow patties, certain groups of these monkeys started eating these mushrooms. Two things happened. One, it increased their visual acuity. It made them be able to see much better. And then the other thing that happened is it made them horny. So here you have these better hunters. They can see things better. They can throw things and they're more accurate. And then they're horny, so they're gonna fuck. And then, of course, if they're eating plates of these fucking things, they're gonna have psychedelic experiences. And if you're a monkey, maybe, if you have psychedelic experiences every day, it's like a force-fed evolution thing. It's like a force-fed evolution thing. Psychedelic experiences every day, every day, every day. Psychedelic experiences every day, every day, every day. Psychedelic experiences every day, every day, every day. Monkeys in space.
Monkeys in space.
We figure out eventually we are all one thing. These spores are all like, they can go in a vacuum in space. They can travel in extreme cold and extreme heat. They can absorb radiation and not get damaged. And they can travel from other planets. Like if a meteor hits, a chunk of this planet can get knocked off, gets sent flying into space, and it lands on another planet. And those spores get to give birth on the planet. When you have a DMT trip, it feels like communication with intent, but with no words. I understand exactly what you're saying, but I understand it more as like a wave. It's like a very clear and obvious wave of information. One of the times I had this DMT trip, the DMT things, they always say a bunch of the same thing. Relax and don't give in to astonishment. But they're not using words. That's the next shit, man. Psychedelic experiences every day, every day, every day. Psychedelic experiences every day, every day, every day. Psychedelic experiences every day, every day, every day. Monkeys in space. Monkeys in space. Every day, every day, every day. Psychedelic experiences every day, every day, every day. Psychedelic experiences every day, every day, every day. Monkeys in space. Monkeys in space. Starting to look at this, they're starting to back off, starting to look up at the sky. They're starting to look to the left and look to the right and go, whoa, what the fuck is this? What is this thing we're doing here? Because this isn't just, we're living life. In the beginning, Bob was a baby. Bob went to high school, then college. He played a bit of football before settling down with his... No. That's just shit we made up to make ourselves feel more comfortable. I mean, those events are actually taking place. Bob is going to school, but that doesn't mean shit, okay? What really means something is we're flying through the fucking universe. Flying through the fucking universe. We're in space! We are in a ship. It's an organic ship. We're not on the ground. We're not on the ground. We're flying. I'm afraid to be in space in a spaceship. You're on a spaceship right now. It's just fucking huge. It's a 24,000 mile across spaceship. 24,000 mile across spaceship. Okay, it's a spaceship. That's what it is. Okay, it's a spaceship. That's what it is. We're not grounded. It's not like the universe is a solid mass and we're sitting on it. We're flying. We are right now hurling and we're spinning 1,000 miles an hour around a massive nuclear explosion. Psychedelic experiences every day, every day, every day. Psychedelic experiences every day, every day, every day. Psychedelic experiences every day, every day, every day. Monkeys in space. Monkeys in space. Psychedelic experiences every day, every day, every day. Psychedelic experiences every day, every day, every day. Psychedelic experiences every day, every day, every day. Monkeys in space. Monkeys in space.
Yeah. Ladies and gentlemen, it's the Meaningwave show. What do we call it? We call it the Meaning Stream. That's what it is. It's the request show. We've been taking your requests. We've been smashing them out. We've been going, oh my goodness. Glory be, Meaningwave exists. What a time to be alive. Now. Question. I want to know, everyone who's here right now who's heard the Joe Rogan LP, what's your favorite music? Because we're releasing the instrumentals this Friday. What's your favorite music as far as the tracks go? Which instrumental are you looking forward to having as an instrumental? Because I've got to choose one for Spotify to send to everybody. So let me know. You dig? We've had a bunch of votes for Be the Hero 1.
He's got clout.
The opportunity takes place usually when you're young and you don't have any responsibility. That's when you have your options. Well, your options are severely limited the more you gather responsibilities.
Like, if I had, as a 51-year-old father of 3, married man, pays taxes, has a house and a mortgage and a business and all that jazz, if I had to quit everything now and struggle the way I struggled as a stand-up comedian, it would never work.
Never.
The only way I could be this person now is if I took that chance when I was 21, when I was dead broke and had my cars repossessed and all that stuff. That's the only way you ever get where you want to go. You have to take a path that's dangerous. Take a path that's dangerous. The only way you ever get where you want to go. You have to take a path that's dangerous. Take a path that's dangerous. The only way you ever get where you want to go. You have to take a path that's dangerous. Take a path that's dangerous. The only way you ever get where you want to go. You have to take a path that's dangerous. Take a path that's dangerous. And most people want to take the safe path. The safe path leaves you stuck in quiet desperation. Almost every time. It's hell. It's hell. You're selling insurance or some other shit that you care zero about. It's hell. It's hell. It's hell. The only way you ever get where you want to go, you're gonna take a path that's dangerous. Take a path that's dangerous. The only way you ever get where you want to go, you're gonna take a path that's dangerous. Take a path that's dangerous. The only way you ever get where you want to go, you're gonna take a path that's dangerous. Take a path that's dangerous. The only way you ever get where you want to go, you have to take a path that's dangerous. Take a path that's dangerous. The way you can change is you have to put aside enough money to give yourself a window. And then you have to have a plan. And you have to spend all your waking hours outside of whatever shit job you do planning your escape. And you have to come to the realization very clearly that you fucked up. And you got yourself stuck. So whatever you're doing, you have to do it like your life depends on it. And whether it is you're trying to be an author and you're working 8 hours a day plus commuting plus family responsibilities, whatever time that you have to attack and save the world. Save your life. You don't want to drown. That 1.5 hours a day that you have to write, god damn, you better be caffeinated and motivated. You gotta go. You gotta get after it. Get after it. You gotta go. You gotta get after it. Get after it. The only way you ever get where you want to go, you're gonna take a path that's dangerous. Take a path that's dangerous. The only way you ever get where you want to go, you're gonna take a path that's dangerous. Take a path that's dangerous. The only way you ever get where you want to go, you're gonna take a path that's dangerous. Take a path that's dangerous. The only way you ever get where you want to go, you have to take a path that's dangerous. Take a path that's dangerous. The only way you ever get where you want to go. Perfect. The only way you ever get where you want to go. Akira. The only way you ever get where you want to go, you have to take a path that's dangerous. Take a path that's dangerous. The only way you ever get where you want to go, you have to take a path that's dangerous. Take a path that's dangerous.
Akira the Dawn is a British musician, DJ, and producer. He's worked in genres as diverse as pop, hip-hop, indie, dance, and more recently, perhaps, something that has come to be known as Meaningwave.
I cut the speech up with the beat, added some crackling vinyl. The older I get, the more I know just how little I know. Most men living one bad day away from being a wino. Many sing along, but how many could hit the high notes? But for the grace of God, go Ido. Hello, hi, pretty fly for someone from just such a place as I. You might not walk, but you might fly. Indeed, we live in such a time. It's a beautiful day to be alive. I'm alive. From the peak of recorded human history, hear them shout.
Akira.
Spoke that shit into existence. Perseverance plus persistence. Don't need motivation, we got meaning. Discipline equals freedom. It's that Meaningwave, 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 Meaningwave. I took the speech, had the shit to the beat, it was sweet, and that's how I made Meaningwave. Meaningwave, 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 Meaningwave.
A combination of metered spoken word and music chosen for its emotional and conceptual appropriateness from some of my sayings and my talks.
Hey, what up, Nightbot?
Akira has also produced similar works featuring Ellen Watts, Jocko Willink, Terence McKenna, David Foster Wallace, and Elon Musk, among others. So, welcome, Akira. It's nice to talk to you. What are you up to?
Meaningwave, 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 Meaningwave. I took the speech, had that shit to the beat, it was sweet, and that's how I made Meaningwave. Meaningwave, 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 Meaningwave. Meaningwave, 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 Meaningwave. Meaningwave, 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 Meaningwave. I took the speech, had that shit to the beat, it was sweet, and that's how I made Meaningwave. Meaningwave, 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 Meaningwave.
Engaged in an experiment in ridiculous hyperproductivity and the zone inhabitation. My idea being remaining in the zone of making music so the music flows and becomes better and better and better, and my whole process becomes more efficient and powerful with each thing.
Yeah, we did it, baby. Hey, shouts out to everybody. Yeah, dig. How I made Meaningwave. That was Akira the Don. That was Akira the Don and Jordan B. Peterson. That was the opening track of the classic and somewhat slept on album, Meaningwave Masterpieces. It's one of those ones that lots of people don't seem to know exists. Because I play songs from it and people go, oh, I've never heard this one before. Yeah. Now, I think the reason for that was I think the week it came out, Spotify messed up and it didn't get sent out or something. I don't know. But anyway, shout out to everyone who's been paying attention to the Instagram stories. If you've been paying attention to my Instagram stories, you'll have seen some behind the scenes this week. It's Tuesday. We made 2 songs yesterday. One song about mowing the lawn. Another song about trees coming out of the air. Today we made another 2 songs. Ooh, what were today's songs about? Well, one of them was about the lamentations. Some lamentations, I guess. Something of a prediction song. Very epic record. Kind of like a spiritual twin of Tarantulas. Kailash, you rust that neck off. Oi. Then we did another song about about not always being happy. We just had a song from Joe Rogan talking about being happy as fuck. Not everyone is naturally happy as fuck. Some people are on the side of sadness, and they have to really make a decision to be happy. They have to really work on it. Ain't everybody the same, baby. Anyway, you keep an eye on those stories and you'll see some happenings. Here in Don Studios, Texas, Dripping Springs, Texas, we in full effect now. We're cooking with gas. We're cooking with fire. We've made 4 songs this week. It's Tuesday. Let's see how we're doing by the end of the week. Part of me was like, oh man, if I didn't do the stream, I'd be able to do another song or two. But that ain't an option. We're committed. Until we've run Tom Hanks out of town, we're committed. Kailash Raskat Nekov says Egypt 1 sounded great. Yeah, they all sound great. You're right. Joe's Bakery pre-ordered a theory board. Oh yeah, you might have seen me on my theory board. Working with that theory board. Shouts out to the makers of the theory board. It's a very useful instrument. Very useful instrument, Miss Superconductor. Yeah. Very, very useful. And you know we're all about useful here at the Meaningwave. Autonomous Zone. The Meaningwave Autonomous Zone. We're all about usefulness. Listen, kids. Things aren't what they seem. Do not be fooled. And do not bother kids when they're skateboarding, and do not bother Akira the Don when he's trying to play songs. Tractor. My software's gone crazy lately. Anyway, yeah, you'll keep paying attention. You'll get rewarded. That's what happens when you pay attention. You get rewards. Yeah. Speaking of rewards, that What's Way vinyl's coming. Ooh.
What I'm saying is I think this. I'm trying to share you.
Mafia Sergeant says, I thought Tom Hanks already ran away to Greece. Yeah, but his stinking disease lingers. He ain't getting away with this. He's not running off to Greece with his tail between his legs and leaving us to clean up his stinking disease. Oh no. Oh no, it ain't gonna go down like that, baby. Justice.
What I'm saying is I think this. I'm trying to share with you a certain style of life, and
I just keep starting this song and talking over it. Yo, people keep asking me questions in the chat. That's why if you listen to this on the podcast, go, Akira the Don, what are you doing? Come now, Akira the Don. Someone says, was that Hercules freestyling about that scary pig? Yes, it was. Hercules has been doing songs. He runs up and he goes, Dad, can I record a song? I say, yes. He records his songs in one take. He does the song in one take, then he does another song. He's like Lil Wayne in 2005. That's literally it, you know. He did a song about that scary pig. I don't think he's off that now. He's now watching Peppa Pig. He's been like putting on episodes of Peppa Pig and then drawing Peppa Pig characters. It's really weird. There was that Roblox thing that was kind of based on Peppa Pig, I guess, and came out at the same time as Tom Hanks' disease, and was about like a virus, and all the kids got into it on Roblox. But what it's done is it's led Hercules back to Peppa Pig, which he used to watch when he was a little baby piglet. You know, and he can't remember it now, and now he's just watching Peppa Pig and drawing Peppa Pig and running around doing Peppa Pig jokes. And now he's a bit older, he's recognized what a snooty little cow Peppa Pig is, you know, and he thinks it's quite funny. But it's funny that, you know, Piggy, which is deeply unwholesome, drove him into the wholesome arms of Peppa Pig. What a way, what a world. Yeah. Austin Cameron says, dude, that Lil Wayne reference just killed me. Lil Wayne was the best in the world for when you did Drought 3.
I'm saying is I think this.
Anyway, I'm going to play this flipping Alan Watts record.
Share with you a certain style of life and an attitude.
Love you, Nick Mayoga.
And an insight. I've taken you on one side and said,
look, listen, kids. Things aren't what they seem. Don't be fooled. Look, listen, kids. Things aren't what they seem. Don't be fooled. Look, listen, kids. Things aren't what they seem. Don't be fooled. Look, there's a big deception going on. And you're involved in it. But I just thought you were terribly puzzled about the way people go out of their way to disenjoy themselves. They take so much trouble about it. And all around you have only to look and you see this perfect passion for making the world look grisly. And it isn't only shop builders and garage owners who do this kind of thing. It's also people who profess to be painters. They're actually using excrements for painting in Paris. today. The theory that the world is shot to pieces, and that since the artist is a representative of his times, he ought to show the times as they really are, as a social critic. So he makes the most weird. He paints Campbell's soup can, and he makes music that shrieks and screams. He just goes out of his way to make it sound as ugly as he possibly can manage. And the ingenuity is about that is endless.
Alan Watts throwing shade at Andy Warhol is my favorite thing.
See?
Hey.
Listen, kids. Things aren't what they seem. Don't be fooled.
Hey.
Listen, kids. Things aren't what they seem. Don't be fooled. Listen, kids. Things aren't what they seem. Don't be fooled. There's a big deception going on. And you're involved in it, but I just thought you ought to know it.
When all about you are losing theirs and blaming it on you. If you can trust yourself when all men doubt you, but make allowance for their doubting too. If you can wait and not be tired by waiting, or being lied about, don't deal in lies, or being hated, don't give way to hating, and yet don't look too good, nor talk too wise. If you can dream and not make dreams your master, if you can think and not make thoughts your aim, if you can meet triumph and disaster and treat those two imposters just the same, if you can bear to hear the truth you've spoken, twisted by knaves to make a trap for fools, or watch the things you gave your life to broken, and stoop and build them up with worn out tools. One heap of all your winnings and risk it on one turn of pitch and toss, and lose and start again at your beginnings, and never breathe a word about your loss. If you can force your heart and nerve and sinew to serve your turn long after they are gone, and so hold on when there is nothing in you except the will which says to them, hold on. Hold on. Hold on.
the way I think of the psychedelics is they are catalysts to the imagination. They were back 100,000 years ago. The imagination, which was just this glimmering, this iridescence on the surface of ape cognition, was under the influence of the reciprocal feedback of self-reflection that is created by watching your own mind. Watching your own mind. Watching your own mind. Watching your own mind. Because it has suddenly become interesting, because it has suddenly been flooded by a psychoactive amine, that iridescence has been coaxed into language, art, architecture, music, poetry, the whole ball of wax. But now we know these things. We can uncover the secret of our origin. I'm very keen for the notion of what I call the archaic revival. And the archaic revival is this overarching metaphor that is the way for us to go to save our necks at this point. When a culture gets into trouble, instinctively what it does is it goes back through its own past until it finds a moment where things seem to make sense. And then it brings that moment forward into the present. The archaic revival brings that moment forward into the present. The archaic revival brings that moment forward into the present. The archaic revival brings that moment forward into the present. Yeah. Medieval Christianity no longer made sense to a major percentage of the people of Western Europe. The intellectuals of that time instinctively reached backwards into the past, looking for a stable model, and finally they reached the golden age of Periclean Athens. And there they found Plato, Aristotle, the dramatists, and they created classicism. Classicism was brought to birth in the 1400s, 2,000 years after the death of Plato. We are the children of this classical revival, which we call the Renaissance. Our theories of law, our theories of government, our notion of justice, all drawn from classical Greek and Roman models, brought back from the dead 500 years ago by a bunch of Italian investment bankers who thought this was a good model to hang their civilization on. Brings that moment forward into the present. The archaic revival. Bring that moment forward into the present. The archaic revival. Bring that moment forward into the present. The archaic revival. Bring that moment forward into the present. The archaic revival. So we must now reach far back into time for a new cultural model. Our crisis is so great.
Still the culture.
To reach back to the high Paleolithic, to the moment immediately before the invention of agriculture and the creation of the dominator ego.
Hurrah! Make some noise for Terrence McKenna. Yo, smash those Terrence McKenna emojis if you got them. What a guy, what a guy. I think we're due some new Terrence in the Meaningwave universe, don't you? Don't you think we're due some new Terrence? What up, Head Start Consulting says Terrence's brother Dennis is an advisor for public psychedelic company up here in Canada. Yeah, he is. Shouts out to Dennis Buchanan. What a guy. Shouts out to everybody locked in. Shouts out to everyone who's been supporting. Without your support, the show wouldn't exist. Funk on a whole new level. The rhythm is the bass and the bass is the treble. LH, I want to shout out LH. I want to shout out Austin Kamen or Kamen, Kevin Gruber, Druff 42, Sheila D613, Andrew Cameron E, Frank E, Blades, Dylan Myers, Austin, Red King, Kevin Gruber, Dylan Myers, Matt Laddie, what's up? Lex Wiseman, what's up? James Scott on. James Scott on. I got a hiccup. James Scott, what's going on? Better than perfect. Perfect plus. Miss Superconductor, blesseth ye up. Matt Lally, blesseth ye up. Savage Chill, blesseth ye up. Ain't got a song request. I just want to say thank you for all your awesome work. Man, thank you, brother, for your awesome being. That awesome being. And that being here in the MAC. More than who you are, or you could be. More than who you are. You know what I mean? Don't listen to those morons who say, you're fine just the way you are. They don't want you to win. They don't want you to be that best version of you. They don't want you to have that joy. The joy that comes from, achieving something you always wanted to achieve. Or doing something useful in the world that you only could do as a result of putting in that work. They don't want you to be great. DJ Khaled warned you about they. They don't want Rebel Wilson and Adele to be fit and healthy. They want them to be miserable and dying. They should be ignored and avoided at all costs. If you have a trebuchet to hand, I would suggest yeeting them directly out of the vicinity. Keep them away from the children. They're a terrible influence. And their sickly complexion scares the children. Yes, it does. Ignore them. Hey. Yeah. People get it confused. Chill Rhino says, Mr. Rogers said that in your wave. No, Mr. Rogers didn't say, your slovenly self is inadequate. He said you are perfect. He's talking about the thing behind all that. He's talking about that pure awareness that is the real you. Who are you really? That's what's perfect, and that's true. And that's the thing that gets covered up, and most people, confuse that with other things. They think that they are their thoughts, or those nagging voices, or the mean things that people said in school or something. People get these things confused. It's important to not get these things confused. That's why we have the Meaningwave University being built right over there. Right over yonder. Meaningwave University. We can take some great classes together. Matt Lally says the observer. Exactly, you're not your thoughts. You are that which observes those thoughts. You are not your emotions. You are that which is aware of said emotions. You are not your reactions. You are that which is aware of said reactions. You are pure awareness. You are that which is. And the other stuff can get yeeted. You can be
bite off a little more than you can chew, you get stronger.
You are.
And you do that in the gym. For example, when you go lift weights, you lift weights that are a little heavier all the time. And as a consequence, you develop yourself physically and you turn into who you could be. You turn into more than you are.
More than who you are. Who you could be. More than who you are. More than you are. More than who you are. Or you could be more
trope that I discuss fairly frequently about rescuing your father from the belly of the dragon or the belly of the beast. You see it in The Lion King. You see it when Simba is being initiated by the baboon, and he ends up contemplating himself in a dark pool, and then his father appears in the sky. And then in the Pinocchio story, when he's trying to become a genuine human being, instead of a marionette pulled by other people's strings, or a liar, or a jackass, because those are his alternate destinies, he goes down to the darkest place he can find, the bottom of the ocean, and finds the biggest monster he can look at, and inside he finds his father, and then rescues him.
More than who you are, or you could be. More than who you are. More than you are. More than who you are, or you could be. More than who you are. More than
the question is, why do you find your father when you look into the abyss? Imagine someone's pursuing a goal. Some of the things they have to accomplish or confront on the way to that goal frighten them, and they start to avoid, and then they get more their ability to pursue their goal or to accomplish their goal deteriorates because they're avoiding. If you're a psychotherapist or even a friend or a supportive loved one, you're going to encourage the person to face the challenges that are making them afraid, to face them voluntarily. What happens as a consequence of that is that the person usually is able to overcome those fears and develop the necessary skill to prevail. That's partly because, not so much because they get less afraid, but because they get more skilled and more courageous. If you bite off a little more than you can chew, you get stronger as a consequence. And you do that in the gym, for example, when you go lift weights. You lift weights that are a little heavier all the time. And as a consequence, you develop yourself physically and you turn into who you could be. You turn into more than you are. Okay, so if you face fears a little bit at a time, fears and challenges, and you do that voluntarily, then you become
more than who you are, or you could be. More than who you are. More than you are. More than who you are, or you could be. More than who you are.
Okay, now let's
more than you are.
Yeah. More than who you are. That's right, MAZ. You can be. Don't let they tell you you cannot. Don't let them hold you back. Don't let them stand in the way of you and your destiny, your glory, your triumph, your usefulness. Do not let they. Don't let they stand in the way of you and your cosmic destiny. You know? You're here for a reason, baby. You got stuff to do. You are an integral piece of the puzzle. It's like there's a big ass jigsaw, right? And if you don't get maximum you, there's one piece of the jigsaw missing. It's a missing piece of jigsaw. Do you know how much a jigsaw with a missing piece sucks? You understand how awful that is? It ruins the whole jigsaw. It could be one of those massive ones that's the size of a wall with the tiny pieces. It will still ruin the jigsaw if that piece isn't there. So do not let they stand in the way of you achieving that piece, baby. I want to shout out everyone who's been here. Matt Lally, follow your own obsession, baby. Thanks to everyone who's been supporting. Of course, you know what to do if you want to support the wave. If you want to support the wave, you can go to meaningwave.com and buy some shirts, buy some jumpers, buy some shorts, read some lyrics. You can become a member of the channel. You can drop wave emojis like Milkman Dan just did. Look how cool he looks with his emojis. You can go Patreon, sign us to the Patreon. You can go to Spotify and rack up all those righteous playlists. You can go to your local city hall. You could do one of them filibusters. You know them things? You can just filibuster local city hall. Just stand up there and run through the title of every single Meaningwave song. And make them sit there and listen. Just the titles alone should make them smarter and more righteous. Should give them some meaning. You know what I mean? I would suggest you do that. Like that creepy Star Wars guy did in that episode of the one with Ron Swanson in it. Parks and Recreation, that was it. That show couldn't exist now, could it? You couldn't have Ron Swanson coexisting happily with Amy Thingybob, with the lady. They'd have to be hating each other or something, you know? You know, they'd say Ron Swanson was some kind of istophobia. You know what I mean? And they'd run him out of the office. They'd run him out of the office, and Chris Pratt as well, for being too toxic and masculine, you know? They'd run Chris Pratt out of the place being, he was having too much stubble or something. Get out of it, Chris Pratt. You're too handsome. You do not exist in our world. You know, they'd make him wear a bag on his head. R.I.P. Anyway. Shouts out to Strunkus28, says, I work for Parks and Recreations in my city. Oh, that's epic. That's a wonderful thing. Shouts out to you. Shouts out to everyone who helps maintain a good park. You know, parks are important, baby. Those shared places where we can go and, you know, sit down a couple of meters away from other people. Give them a good nod. You know, acknowledge their presence. Maybe a smile and a wave. You know, some places where we can pick up our litter and not leave it on the ground like a savage. Some places where we, you know, pay attention to local fire safety and do not start forest fires. Shouts out to Smokey the Bear and the Frog. That frog that Mitch was talking about that I never heard of. I'm from the UK and I don't know frog about forest fires. I think he made that one up. Bless him. God bless him. Anyway, that's all stuff you can do if you want to support Meaningwave, you know. Go to the park and pick up litter. Or you could always nail a notice to a tree. You know those notices? People might leave a notice that says, I lost my cat. Lost cat, possibly eaten by a coyote. That's what happens around here in Dripping Springs. If you lose your cat, it's because a coyote ate. Got it. Slappy the Frog, that was it, Superchat. Yeah, but you might want to leave a note on a tree that says, Meaningwave exists! You might want to do that, you know? Hello. Hello, darling. Smacky the Frog, actually. It was Smacky the Frog, you're right. Can someone do me a favor right now? And just search up Smacky the Frog to see if Smacky the Frog really was the mascot against forest fires in the UK, or if Mitch Hedberg just made that up entirely. Smacky the Frog. If you don't know what we're talking about, yesterday we did a wonderful DJ set where I played great lo-fi records and Mitch Hedberg over the top telling jokes. It was great. Gustavo Gomez says Smacky is unfortunately not true. Yeah, I didn't think it was true. Doesn't make it any less wonderful. It actually makes it more wonderful that Mitch Hedberg sat there and invented Smacky the Frog just so he could do some weird-ass joke where he talked about frogs not being violent. That's just wonderful. God bless his heroin-addled little head. I thank God every day for putting Mitch Hedberg on this earth. Oh, you could be... You could be more than you are, but you couldn't be Mitch Hedberg. Only Mitch Hedberg was able to be Mitch Hedberg. That's why it was important he existed to the fullest. And he did exist to the fullest. Just like Norm Macdonald. I've said this before, you know? Norm Macdonald, you know, he was uncompromising. You know, he told jokes about O.J. Simpson and Hillary Clinton being a bitch. So they kicked him off of Saturday Night Live. But had he not done that, he wouldn't have been the full Norm Macdonald. And there would have been a jigsaw piece missing from the universe. I thank God for the beautiful jigsaw piece that is the full glory of Norm Macdonald every day. Matt Laddie says, I like his joke about falling up the escalator. Also, escalators. Really, honestly, Mitch Hedberg jokes, I just think about them and they make me laugh. An escalator can never be out of order. It can only become stairs. It can never become... Yo, shouts out to escalators. Rice is really good when you want to eat like a couple thousand or something. Oh my goodness. Anyway, I want you to join me for the bye five. Join me for the bye five. We're going bye-bye. We're going bye-bye. And going bye-bye, you ain't got to fear, you ain't got to cry or worry. Because you can just hop next door to the bar, to the Meaning Lounge, you know, for Meaningwave Radio 24/7. There's a lounge over there. You can hang out there. You can hang out there. Cockback. Splashback. 3, 2, 1. Splash. Epic activities only in 2020 and beyond. God bless. Love you guys. Sweet dreams made of these.